Buenos dias, mi gente, and welcome to Barcelona.
And upon arrival, you can just see the beautiful view right at the base of the Sagrada Familia. Ham, a smoked salmon, and a cod, and I continued with a manchego cheese and anchovy. And
Did you really visit Parkway if you didn't have a seat on one of these benches?
Recordándote. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mantar. Thank you all so much for coming back. If it's your first time, welcome to the show. And today, my friends, we have our third installment of the Spain series in Barcelona, the last destination video that I have for you from Spain. And what a way to end this trip. So I want to get right into it, but first, really quick, if you like this content, don't forget to hit that little subscribe button. It is of no cost to you, but it is tremendously helpful to me. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that little notification bell so you do not miss future Mantar videos. I know you don't want to miss future Mantar videos. I do have one more video from the Spain series coming up, and that is going to be reviewing the train system in Spain that was bringing me between cities. I traveled on 3 different versions of their high-speed rail, and I had very different experiences, so I'm making that its own video. That will be coming out very shortly. I also have another video coming up really soon of a northeastern United States beach vacation. You don't want to miss that either. I also already have 2 videos from my trip to Spain out on this channel. My video of my experience in Madrid, you can check that out right there. And also my experience in the south of Spain. That video is also already out on the channel, and you can check that one out right here as well. So, without any further ado, here is my trip to Barcelona in Spain in July 2024 on the latest episode of Mantar Global, starting right now.
Okay guys, welcome to Barcelona. We are getting ready to head to the hotel. I just got here off the train, 6-hour ride. The train ride is going to be a different video. It's going to compare all the trains. That'll be coming out very shortly. But right now we're going to get a taxi and go to the hotel.
So yes, I got in pretty late at night and I got my taxi to the hotel and I was getting my first glimpses of Barcelona, which initially gave me the impression that I was in sort of the most New York City-like place that I had been to thus far in Spain, complete with the graffiti and the sort of orange-tinted street lighting. And I arrived at my domicile for the next 4 days, the Alexandra Barcelona Hotel, which is a Hilton property. The hotel was lovely, very nice. The aesthetic of the room was a little bit not my style. It was sort of like gray slabs on the wall. If you saw my Madrid video, I was also in a Hilton, and that was sort of a little bit more decorated in Spanish style than this one was.
This is 2 twin beds pushed together. We're gonna see how bothersome that is tonight.
And with that, it was late, so I called it a night, ready to start in the morning for day 1.
Buenos dias, mi gente, and welcome to Barcelona. We are going to a breakfast spot called Gelida. I think it might be in Catalan, so I may be pronouncing it wrong, but we're going to a breakfast spot, and because I hear the fork breakfast is something you have to try when you're in Barcelona, and I hear that this place does one of the best, so let's go.
So I took my rather long walk to the restaurant. I think it's actually called Gelida, and I was actually getting my real first glimpses of the city. And my impression was I still felt like it was the closest thing that resembled my hometown of New York City, but I will say the buildings were prettier, and I also felt like it was more spread out. Like I was like walking for a while for most places on this trip that I went to.
One thing for sure about Barcelona so far is it is cooler than it was in the south, but it is more humid. I can definitely feel the south was dry desert. It's humid up here.
And it might have only been the area I was in, but holy crap, were there a lot of these blatant signs right there on the street. I thought to myself, maybe not a city to bring your kids. And so I arrived at Gelida, or Gelida, again, might be Catalan, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I had myself a seat and I sat down to order my fork breakfast. Now, supposedly a classic item for the Barcelona fork breakfast are pig trotters, in other words, pig's feet. I'll let you all get over yourselves for a second. Yes, pig's feet. People do eat different things in different countries. And they were on the menu here, and I did order them, and then I was subsequently told that they were all out. So I asked them what else was good, and they told me some kind of veal plate, so I said, fine, sure, just bring it to me. The food was absolutely delicious. I know why people like fork breakfast in Barcelona, but unfortunately...
Okay, I have to say that the food was very good at that place, but the service was a little rude, to be honest with you. The first waitress that came and talked to me was lovely, very sweet, explained things to me, and then I guess she went on a break because then someone else started dealing with me, and she was like, first of all, they didn't have the first thing that I ordered, so she came back and she was like, we don't have that, do you want something else? And I was like, well, I don't understand the Catalan menu, so like, and then she got frustrated with me about that and basically just like walked away from my table as soon as I said that, even though I was speaking to her in Spanish. It's not even like I was like, I don't speak anything, you know, like I was speaking to her in Spanish, but I was like, I can't read the Catalan menu. And she like literally just walked away from my table, and then she came back and she slapped an English menu on my table and walked away. And I was kind of like, dude, like I'm speaking to you in Spanish, like I can read a Spanish menu. So that wasn't great. And then I asked for the check, and she said, you just go to the register to pay. So I was like, okay. So I went to the register, and I told her, I was like, I don't exactly know what I got, but I got, you know, the plate of meat. And she like threw her hands up and like walked into the kitchen and like came back with my check, and so that she could enter it into the system. But I was like, this could have been avoided if you had just given me a check at the table, and I could have given it to the cashier so she could read it. So that wasn't efficient. Maybe I just got people on a bad day. I don't know, but it just left a bad taste in my mouth.
All right, I'd been having good experiences at restaurants for most of this trip, so 12 days I was bound to run into something that was not such a great experience. So there you have it. So at this point of the trip, I'd been traveling for 7 days straight and pretty much not getting off my feet that whole time. So I took the opportunity to spend my first day in Barcelona at their famed beaches. The beaches in Barcelona are conveniently located close to the downtown. It's about a 2-mile drive in a taxi and cost me about 20 euros. And I went ahead and got myself a cab to the beach that I believe is pronounced Boqueria, but again, it's in Catalan, so it may be Bogatel, I'm not sure. So for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna say Boqueria, but if I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments.
Okay, people, let's go to the beach.
And I chose this specific beach because everything that I had read had told me that it was the sort of calmer, family-oriented beach. It was not so rowdy. It wasn't full of people who are loud and rambunctious. And I was proven 100% right. This was a perfect beach for me to go to. So Boqueria Beach was free. I am under the impression that I think all the beaches in Barcelona are free access, and then you pay for extras like if you want chairs and umbrellas. But don't quote me on that because I only went to Boqueria, so I just know that it was free to get on this particular beach. And upon arrival, you can just see the beautiful view over the sand and the Mediterranean Sea in the background. And I was just super excited to have my beach day.
And guys, be sure to look out on this channel because I actually have another beach vacation video that's going to be coming up. So if you like beach vacations, make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss it. Also subscribe to the channel. Guys, it is beautiful at this beach, and all I have to say is if I don't come back to the US significantly browner than I left, then I have failed my mission. That's all.
And the water was magnificent. Not too cold, but just cooling enough on a hot day. I cannot recommend this Barcelona beach enough.
beautiful day. I cannot recommend this beach enough. Bogatel, I think. It's all in Catalan, so I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but Bogatell, Bogatel. Beautiful, nice people. Very calm, not too much, not like a party beach. Very calm beach. Water was gorgeous. High recommendation. Oh look, there it is. Playa de Bogatel.
One thing I noticed about this particular beach, and it may be true throughout the Barcelona beaches, I don't know, is that there are many women who attend the beach without the top half of their bathing suit on. Now that may be a culture thing. I don't think I've ever been to a beach in any part of Europe. I'm not exactly sure, but that seemed to be regarded as normal. So if you're an American and you're not used to that, just be aware of it, so that it doesn't surprise you when you get there. Now, I didn't go to any of them, but this particular beach does also happen to have some restaurants along the boardwalk and some things to do. I was more focused on just having a relaxed beach day, but if you're hungry or want to see what's happening on the boardwalk, there are things to do over there. I think the other beaches have even more things on the boardwalk because they're bigger tourist attractions, but there you have it. And with the beach out of the way, it was time to head back to my hotel room and get myself ready for dinner.
And it looks like everyone else in town has the same idea, so let's hope I get a table somewhere.
So for dinner, I headed to a place called Vinitus, which was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and I was really looking forward to it.
30-minute wait at 8:15. I'm hoping for some good stuff here because this looks like a popular place. In case you didn't know, 8:15 is very early for dinner in Spain, so that's why I said a 30-minute wait at 8:15. That's got to be something.
So I was seated at the bar. The service at Vinitus was very, very nice, attentive. The wait staff, the hosting staff was very kind and attentive. But unfortunately, my first day in Barcelona, I have to go 0 for 2 for the restaurant recommendations. I just did not like the food. So this particular place was trying to do like an Asian flair on Spanish tapas. So everything was covered in like sort of like a sweet Asian type brown sauce. Like everything that I got there was covered in this brown sauce, and it was like a little too sweet for me, and I really didn't like that. Other than the sauce, the tuna tartare I ordered was very good, as well as the croqueta that I ordered. But then came sort of the main dishes that I got, the salmon and the codfish. Both of them had very, very fishy tastes, like the fish was not particularly fresh. And I really love to eat fish, but when it has that sort of fishy taste, I understand the people all of a sudden who say that they don't like fish. And sometimes I wonder if they've only had fish that tastes like that. That was not good. I have had much better salmon and cod elsewhere. So this is not a place that I would recommend in Barcelona. Fortunately, I did go to some very good restaurants later on. But when I was asking a friend of mine who's from Barcelona, he basically told me that Vinitus is a tourist trap, which I can totally see. The long line to get into the restaurant was full of basically English-speaking tourists. And so my friend was like, avoid the tourist traps. I'll give you restaurants to go to. So we course corrected in the following days. So after my mediocre dinner, I wanted to just get some ice cream just to clear the palate and to have something tasty. So I headed over to, I believe it's Joelia ice cream, and got myself a very nice vanilla chocolate swirl type thing. Okay, day 2, and I started off with breakfast at the hotel. I want to give a special shout out to my hotel, the Alexandra Barcelona Hotel. They did a very good breakfast for a hotel breakfast buffet. Definitely the best one I had in Spain. They actually had real sunny side up eggs as opposed to just a bucket of scrambled eggs. They had individual sunny side up eggs, and their jamon, their ham, was really, really good. It was just really, really high quality hotel breakfast food. So that's a plus if you're staying at the Alexandra Barcelona Hotel.
Well, good morning and welcome to day 2 in Barcelona. We are on our way to La Sagrada Familia Basilica. It's like the thing you're supposed to see in Barcelona, and we're gonna take the metro there. So gonna be my first experience on the metro here.
Okay, so my experience on the Barcelona Metro was pretty similar to the Madrid Metro. Again, check out the Madrid video if you haven't already. The train cars, like Madrid, were nice, they were clean, the stations were clean, and I found it very, very similar across the board in Spain. Because at the time that I bought the Metro ticket, I was going to have about 48 more hours in Barcelona, I found it really convenient to buy the 48-hour pass, which was 17 euros and 15 cents. And that was good for unlimited rides on the Metro for a 48-hour period. It was perfect. I think one ride is like 2 euros and change. So it pays for itself in about 6 rides or so, which I definitely took. And off the Metro, right at the base of the Sagrada Familia.
It's a religious monument, and they're big on modesty, so I've buttoned my shirt all the way up, like a good Catholic.
And the inside of the Sagrada Familia was unlike any church I had ever stepped into in my life. The design seemed more modern. That was like the word that kept popping into my head as I looked around everything. It just looked modern. It looked like a piece that I might see in the Museum of Modern Art, let's say, which is funny because the place was designed in the late 19th century. So yes, it's not a medieval cathedral from like the 15 or 1600s, but it's also not something that was created in like the 1980s or anything. But I can't help but feel like the design was almost sort of like, almost nightclub-ish. Like you had the stained glass windows that the natural light came through, but it made the light look like neon, you know, like something you'd see inside of like a bar or something. And all the designs of the facades and the walls and the ceilings looked sort of like retro, which is like not something you're expecting when you go to a church. You don't expect retro, you expect traditionalism. Now I will say it's my own opinion, but I actually do prefer to see cathedrals in a more traditionalist sense. I think that the retro thing is a little bit like jarring to the senses when you think you're going inside a cathedral. But that said, that's my own personal opinion of what aesthetic I prefer. But that's not to say don't go there. You should definitely go there when you go to Barcelona. It's a really interesting sight to see. And I did have a ticket to go up to the Torres de Pasión, the Passion Towers. So we went up pretty far in an elevator and got to walk around on high on the towers and take in beautiful sights overlooking the city of Barcelona. And what goes up must come down, but unfortunately at this particular place, we were not able to go down in the elevator the same way we came up. So we traversed down about 400 steps. They did warn us in advance, to be fair. This was not a surprise. The elevator lady told us, she says, when you go down, it's about 400 steps. So if you are not able to descend 400 steps, do not buy a ticket to the Passion Towers because you are supposed to go down on the staircase. I wonder if they have some kind of accessibility thing for people who really can't walk down the stairs. That would be an interesting inquiry to make before you book a ticket. But as far as I know, they don't have that. And before I left, I saw signs pointing me to a museum, so I did go and check it out just a bit. And they had some cool rooms and things to see, but I didn't spend too much time there. Okay, back on the Metro and on our way to the Gothic Quarter. The Gothic Quarter is definitely worth checking out. It's the only part in Barcelona that I went to that really looked like an old city. Everything else is pretty modern.
Okay, I am in the Gothic Quarter and the Barri Gothic, and going to see the Roman city wall. And then after that, I'm just gonna walk around and see what's happening. Look at this. Wow.
And in the Gothic Quarter, you have the Cathedral of Barcelona, which I didn't go inside of because I had just left the cathedral, but that particular cathedral does look like the more traditionalist Catholic church that you might find in other European cities. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I never really was able to find that Roman wall. I kind of looked through where the Google map was telling me it was, and I'm not sure I found what I was supposed to be looking for. And suddenly I found myself on these little windy pedestrian streets, kind of similar to the south of Spain. If you haven't yet checked out my video on the south of Spain, it is available on this channel. And so along those winding pedestrian streets, there was a lot of shopping.
Stop it right now. Look what they have. Well, I've been thinking that Barcelona is a modern city, but this is obviously the old city. It's like when I went to Montreal, it was like modern, and then there was an old quarter. So I guess that's the same sort of thing. They were so nice to name a restaurant after me. Okay, so we're going to the Mercado de la Boqueria. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the Gothic Quarter because honestly I had been to 2 different cities in Spain that already looked like that.
And so we arrived at Mercat de la Boqueria, one of the famous markets in Barcelona, and just like Mercado San Miguel in Madrid, it is a big food market. It has everything: meats, cheeses, lots of fresh fruits to cool you down on a hot day, dried nuts and dates and olives, a lot of Mediterranean, almost Middle Eastern looking booths. And holy cow, what a fish market. Gigantic whole fishes, oysters, shellfish, salmon, tuna, all kinds of stuff. The Madrid market definitely did not have this pronounced of a fish market. It was large, there were a lot of stands. If you're a fish lover, you gotta check out Mercat de la Boqueria. And I had myself something that they sort of described as basically a fried burrito, which inside was a warm ham and cheese sandwich.
I wonder if this is just gonna be like a big croqueta. Let's see. More dough. I haven't even gotten to the meat yet. Hold on. It's like, it's not croqueta. Croqueta is like gooey on the inside. This is like a ham and cheese sandwich, like a fried ham and cheese sandwich. It's very good though.
And then I treated myself to some chocolate-covered strawberries. And then yet another ride on the Metro. You can see why I bought the 48-hour pass, because I was taking the train everywhere that day. And reminiscent of good old New York, a little live entertainment.
So I found the Roman wall. I wasn't able to find it before. I just stumbled on it now after the whole day. I just ended up walking into it. So this is the Roman wall.
And I was going to head to a restaurant down in a neighborhood called El Raval, which, by the way, if you go to El Raval, I have been told by multiple sources that that's where there is a lot of petty crime, petty theft. So just be aware that that area is not so good. I was told to hold my phone close to me when I was down there. But this was a restaurant I was recommended to go to, and it turned out when I got there, there was no room even for one person. But I got on the train out of there and found myself at a restaurant called Lomo Alto. I was kind of off seafood after the restaurant I had the night before, and Lomo Alto was supposed to be a really good meat restaurant, and it did not disappoint. It was truly like my first really good meal in Barcelona. I was treated to complimentary olives. Oh my God, the complimentary olives at like all of these restaurants. Have olives when you're in Spain. They are so, so, so good. And I had a little appetizer of pan con tomate. That's really popular over there. It's basically bread with like tomato, like the inside of tomato just kind of spread over it. It's actually very good. And some jamón ibérico, because you can't get enough jamón ibérico when you're in Spain. I knew I was going to be leaving in a couple of days and not eating that all the time. And I ordered an excellent veal bavette with this great sauce that came with a creamy mashed potatoes. So, so, so good. Lomo Alto, very good restaurant. And after a little walk through what I think I stumbled upon was the shopping district in Barcelona, I was back at my hotel, and it was good night day 2. And on to day 3.
Okay, buenos dias, mi gente, and welcome to day 3 in Barcelona. We are on our way to La Rambla, which is apparently something you gotta go to if you're in Barcelona, so here we go, we're going.
God, I look tired by that day. Ugh, I've been traveling 11 days. Forgive me. So another short metro ride, this time on one of the S lines, which are separate from the main Barcelona Metro lines, which are the L lines. The L lines serve Barcelona proper, and the S lines serve the suburban areas, although that's not where I was going. We got out of the train and we're right on La Rambla.
Holy moly, it's packed down here. It's also Saturday though, so, you know, what a day to go to the major shopping center.
There was all kinds of stuff in La Rambla. And it was sort of split up into sections. So like the first section I was in was a lot of like desserts, ice creams, churros, things like that. Then there was a whole flower section, like a whole block of just flower stands. And then a whole section with restaurants. They even had an area with restaurant tables reserved for Mickey D's customers. Gotta have space for the Mickey D's customers.
So behind me is the Mercado de la Boqueria where I went to yesterday. So that's hilarious. Didn't even know I was here. I walked like right away from it in the other direction, and could have just visited this yesterday. Well,
and at the end of La Rambla, it lets out to the Mirador de Colom, or the Columbus Monument, which is basically a big roundabout with a statue of Christopher Columbus, so I affectionately call it Columbus Circle. If you're from New York City, you get the reference.
All right, we let off of that pretty close to the beach, so looks like there's a little like marina over here. We're gonna check it out. This actually would be like a really cute like date afternoon, you know, like you stroll down La Rambla and sorry, there was a crackhead screaming over there. Let's try this again. What I was saying is that this would be like a cute date afternoon. Like you stroll down La Rambla and you end up right here at the port, at the marina, you know, with the palm tree lined walkways and everything. It's really, you know, be a really just nice afternoon to spend a few hours with a loved one or a significant other or something like that.
And then I took one more little walk through La Rambla because I did want to satisfy my hankering for a little chocolate con churros. And satisfy my hankering, I did.
Sanguines in Madrid really set the bar high for chocolate con churros, but and this was not as good, but it was still really good. I mean, it was perfectly delicious dose of chocolate con churros before I go back home.
And another quick trip on the S1 line, and in true Spanish fashion, it was time for a little siesta at my hotel. And good thing I took the siesta, because one of the last things on my itinerary in Barcelona was a trip to Park Güell, which was a bit of an experience getting to.
Okay, our last fun adventure of the trip. I can't believe it. I'm already going home tomorrow, but we have to go to Park Güell. I was very fortunate because I thought it was a park and you didn't need to buy a ticket, but you do. I got the last ticket for the last time slot, 7:30. So we are on our way to go enjoy that, and then we'll have some dinner.
But that was my giddy little schoolgirl excitement that quickly turned into me being mortified at the uphill climb that was ahead of me.
They just sent me up that. Whew. There is a God. Holy shit.
If you do not want to climb up that hill, I would suggest you look into a taxi. I do not believe that there is public transit that will relieve you of that climb up the hill. It certainly didn't relieve me of that climb up the hill. But I walked into Park Güell and I immediately knew that I was glad I had done the uphill climb.
Okay, the uphill walk was worth it. Look at this view.
What I didn't realize when I looked at this view is how the Sagrada Familia towers over everything, like majorly. I had no idea until I saw the view up here. So what I didn't realize is that a lot of Park Güell is actually just the park. And true to the other parks in Spain, it was very, very well cared for. It was clean, free of homeless people, very, very nice. I mean, this particular park, you have to buy a ticket, so I would definitely expect a higher bar than a free park, but certainly did meet that bar. And I did find all the attractions that everybody wants to see in Park Güell, like the serpentine bench and the salamander statue and the columns and the two houses with the Gaudi designs on top of them. I forget what they're called.
Did you really visit Park Güell if you didn't have a seat on one of these benches? Did you really? Can you say you went if you didn't do it? I don't think so. Okay, dinner time. I'm starving.
Seemed like I walked through kind of an affluent area, so that was nice. I didn't really know where I was, but the walk to dinner was a very pleasant street.
It's Park Avenue with palm trees. Looks like Park Avenue.
And I found my way to Gasterea, which was another recommendation from a friend of mine. And for my last dinner in Spain, wow, wow, wow. I had some of the best pinchos I had had during my time there. In fact, they were the only pinchos I had during my time there. They were so good. And pinchos, if you don't know, at least in this restaurant, are little crusts of bread with something on top of them. So I started off with a ham, a smoked salmon, and a cod, and I continued with a manchego cheese and anchovy, and a lomo, which is a cut of beef with mustard sauce. I had 2 of those. Oh my God, the lomo with mustard sauce. You must have that one at Gasterea. It was by far my favorite. So good. And then a brie with sun-dried tomato. And to finish off, a chocolate truffle and a chocolate pastry, which were right in the window in front of me where I was sitting. So I just had to order them.
That was probably the best meal I had in Spain. Little hole-in-the-wall, cash-only place. Pinchos. Deliciosos. Riquísimos. It was so good. I wanted to order more. I'm very full, so I stopped myself, but I wanted to order everything else on the menu. It was so good.
And with that, I was on the metro, back to my hotel, and packing my bag to head home in the morning.
And just like that, it is good night to Barcelona and home to the good old US of A in the morning. So with that, good night. All right, time to head home.
And one last breakfast at the hotel, gathering my suitcase, and out the door, and on my way to Barcelona airport to head back to the good old US of A. Barcelona ended up being a really great time. I was a little nervous after the first day and didn't have great restaurant experiences, but the rest of my restaurant experiences were great. The beach was beautiful. The Sagrada Familia is well worth it, so is Park Güell. Definitely get to the Rambla, and I very much recommend Barcelona as a destination for you to visit. Yes, I do know they're a little bit anti-tourist at the moment. I think that has to do with Airbnb. Do yourself a favor. If you're not some big family or something, just get a hotel room. There are plenty of hotel rooms. Honestly, hotels are better than Airbnbs. Again, unless you're like with some kind of big family or something where you need a whole house. If it's just 1 or 2 of you, you could probably make do in a hotel. You get maid service every day. You get refresh your bedding and towels and everything. You don't get any of that in an Airbnb. So, at any rate, I'm sorry they're a little bit against tourists, but I'm gonna recommend you to go to Barcelona anyway. It's a great town. It's got lots of great things to do. I really enjoyed it. And I'm super excited to hear what you all think. Try and keep the comments respectful. If I got something wrong, I'm a human being from the United States and it was my first time there. Some of my other videos, people have been very aggressive in correcting me about things. At any rate, I am intrigued to hear your comments. Have you been to Barcelona before? Have you been to the other cities in Spain? Check out those other videos. And remember to leave a thumbs up if you like this comment and do all the YouTube things. So I will be back soon. Again, the next video is going to compare the trains in Spain, the 3 different train experiences I had. Super excited to share that with you all. But until then, and until we meet again, everyone out there in YouTube land, have a wonderful afternoon, evening, night, morning, whatever time of day you're watching this. I love you all very much. And I will see you on the Spanish trains in the next one. Bye-bye.